The town of Fort Erie delivered a letter to me threatening me that they would give me a $100,000 fine or up to 1 year in jail for exercising my charter rights. So because of this ridiculous and insane law, the interior of my greenhouse is limited to 30 people. So while you are waiting to get into the greenhouse, I decided that I would speak to my customers who are here today waiting to go shopping. So my name is Peter Terrace. I'm a husband, I'm a father of 6, and I'm a concerned citizen. I love God and I love my country. I am honored that I am the official candidate for the People's Party of Canada in the next federal election. I am thankful, and I will do my very best with your support to defend our charter rights. My intent today is to comply with these illegitimate and ridiculous restrictions that violate our most basic rights.
You took an oath. You both took an oath.
Doug Ford has promised that in 2 weeks, the lockdown will be over. I believe that you'd forgive me if I was just a little bit skeptical about the veracity of that statement. The government wants us to shut up and comply. Big government thinks we are too stupid to make decisions about our own health. This patronizing attitude of government needs to end. Them trying to force upon me what they think is good for me. The choice is stark. It's freedom or these communist ideas. The Premier recently laid out a plan that 70% of the people in our province have to be vaccinated before our freedoms are returned.
Unlicensed, untested vaccines.
This is not freedom. This is blackmail.
Yeah, extortion. Doug Ford's a gangster. And the gangster cops that support him.
We are even being threatened that if we don't take the vaccine, we can lose access to government services like health care. We are being held ransom by our own government. If the vaccine, masking, restricting freedom of association, and lockdowns were beneficial to me, I'd accept it willingly. I would be rushing to accept these things. We wouldn't need to be coerced. Without free will, we become like the stormtroopers in Star Wars, who were ruled by fear, who incidentally were also forced to wear masks. I know that many people are wearing masks out of fear or charity. The problem is, when you force your idea of charity on me, that becomes uncharitable. Charity always needs to be undergirded by free will.
That's right.
This is where the lie of communism resides. Both the people who are fighting for freedom and the people who are fighting to promote these communist ideas have the intention of making life better for people. But the communist says, I'm going to make your life better and you have no choice about it. If something is truly good and helpful, I will accept it willingly. There'd be no need to force anyone. And in a free society, there are also people who willingly can choose not to accept the good. This has to be tolerated. This is respect, and it's critical in a functional society. If we throw away the idea of respect for one another, what happens with these ideas, they break down into what George Orwell called, in his dystopian novel 1984, he called it groupthink. And this is where your actions and your thoughts affect the group. Communism wants to remove free will and replace it with groupthink. Every day I am meeting with constituents of Niagara Falls who are grateful that the PPC is standing up for their fundamental rights to defend freedom that is our God-given right.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. Many of them are just starting to learn about the PPC, but they're grateful that someone is standing up to stop the spread of these toxic ideas that are restricting our freedom to assemble, that are restricting our freedom to worship, that are restricting our freedom to enjoy one's property. The government is attempting to censor the internet. And we may eventually have medical apartheid in Canada, where we have two classes of citizens, the vaccinated and the unvaccinated. We have to say no to vaccine passports. There is one class of citizen in Canada, and there is no justification to discriminate against anyone for their free choices that they are allowed to make. All of these communist ideas have never worked in the past, and they are only going to entrench average Canadians deeper into despair. Fear needs to be countered with courage. Virtue signaling, which is a very common pastime now, needs to be replaced with true compassion. And the forces that are dividing Canadians needs to be countered with charity and love. The big pharma and the globalist narrative, they want people to live in fear. The PPC is fighting to have people live in freedom. In the past, freedom has always won, and it will win now. Because the people fighting for freedom are the courageous, and we have the truth with us. I would rather die on my feet fighting than cower in fear living. Many of the problems we are facing today in Canada is that we have turned our back on traditional values. The principles of freedom, justice, family values, community, and protection of the vulnerable have always brought about joy and peace in a society. We need to return to these ideas that are undergirded by common sense. Now is the time to deliver courage, confidence, and ideas that are moral and just. Our leader, Maxime Bernier, is the only leader of a federal political party that is standing up for the protection of our fundamental, God-given rights. All of the other federal parties are standing behind the narrative that they are being spoon-fed by the mainstream media and the globalists, and they are not taking into account that it is the destruction that it is causing our country.
Yep, that's right.
So, I intend to fight to restore the rights of our citizens, because dangerous freedom is better than the illusion of safety under tyranny.
Yes!
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for coming to shop here today. I appreciate it. Thank you.